joining us to this event. We're very excited. I've had the great pleasure of having worked with Shaku for a number of years now, and she knows she's a well-renowned author of a number of books. I think 6 best-selling books, including the Business Intelligence Roadmap. She's actually going to be sharing with us some of the material that she's working on for a new book on dashboards this morning. She's really going to go through and help us take us through this morning how to plan, design, and then develop and deploy a performance dashboard in a very efficient manner, starting from the data all the way through to the visual output at the end. And then we'll kind of demonstrate some of the concepts that Shaku is going to take you through. And then in the afternoon, there'll be a hands-on workshop across the way where we'll literally have you develop a performance dashboard within the period of the afternoon as well. So, as an incentive, there will be prizes for the best dashboard that gets produced in the afternoon. So we have a couple of iPads to give out later, so stay tuned for that, and hopefully you'll be able to stay with us the whole day. Really kind of go through, as I said, from the data all the way through to the visual output that you'll be producing by the end of today. So very excited to have Shaku join us. She's helped us on a number of occasions in various capacities in terms of various speaking engagements and so on. But this time she's really here to teach us all how to build an effective performance dashboard. And so without any further ado, Shaku Atre.
Thank you. Can you hear me now? The backbenchers. Okay. Thank you very much, Nabi. It always has been delightful working with Nabi and with Actuate. I appreciate very much for inviting me here. By the way, I am standing. Okay, so we are going to cover a whole bunch of topics, and Mark has told me, Mark is our second speaker. I call him BERT Wizard, or open source wizard. And we have also Jeff Morris, who is going to speak or tell us about his conditions about your being able to win this iPad, which Nabi just showed, for the afternoon. That's the catch. You have to stay here the afternoon. Okay? And you have to actually do something. And only then you have the possibility of getting iPad. And by the way, next week Apple is going to come out with iPad 3, and I see, or I have read, it has some problems, so you're better off with this iPad. Okay, so let's get started. Now, one of the things which I wanted to mention is that there are few books out there on dashboards, and nobody tells you how to start with the real, actual, raw data. They always talk about which graphics you should have, which colors you should have, how you should present it, whom you should present, but where is the data? I mean, you do not go from summaries to details unless you are committing fraud, which has happened not on the upper side of this city, it has happened downtown. Okay, so we need to know how to get started with the real data and then come up with summaries, and not the other way around. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, show you starting from real honest-to-God data to take you to the dashboard. Okay, so first of all, one of the disclaimers before I start. If you think you can get rid of Excel because you are going to develop dashboards, you are mistaken. Because if you want to get rid of Excel, Excel will get rid of you. Okay, so Excel is going to be around, or spreadsheet software is going to be around, and it has its pluses and it has its minuses. And so does dashboard, has its pluses and its minuses. Okay, drilling down in the data, you cannot do with Excel. Whereas with dashboard, if you have planned and designed it accurately or correctly, then you can do that. But with Excel, you can do something very quickly. It takes a little bit time with dashboard. Okay, and I have 3 maxims of any project. No matter which project you are talking about, whether it's computer-based or non-computer-based, it always takes longer than you think. It always costs more than you think, and you always get less than you think. Any project. Okay, so dashboard is not an exception. So this is not a quick fix. Okay, there is work involved in developing and designing and implementing and using dashboard. Another disclaimer is that if there is a big, thick wall between your IT and user community, then you are going to have some big problems in implementing dashboards. Because dashboard is not like a payroll system which you design, develop, and it's mostly going to remain the same, maybe a few tweaks here and there. But with dashboard, because it's reflecting your business and business is constantly changing, your dashboard has to adjust to that. And for that, IT has to communicate well with the user community, and user community have to communicate, also interact with IT all the time. Okay, so those are the 2 disclaimers before we get started. Okay, now first I'm going to start with saying what a dashboard is not. A dashboard is not about cute icons. It's not about unrealistic and unreliable key performance indicators, and so on. It's not about dazzle, but it is more about simplicity, communication. Main intent of a dashboard is communicate. And if you are not doing that, then you are going to have a very successful failure. Okay, so it's for communication purpose. Above all, it is about communication, and also think international now, because internet has shrunk the business. It's the dashboard which you are developing today may be used in China tomorrow, or even today. Or it may be used in Riyadh, or it may be used wherever. So some places, like China, likes red. So when you are choosing colors, think international. China, red. There are some countries which like green. There is a country, some people like orange, some people hate orange. Okay, so you have to know about that, about the international thoughts. You have to think about internationally now, because your dashboard could be used anywhere without your knowledge. With that, I remember one little anecdote. I present and speak. I have spoken in many, many, many countries. One place I was in São Paulo, in Brazil. Somebody from the audience asked me a question, which was a very good question. So I said, perfect. The person who was coordinating it, he quickly took a break. He came to me running and said, don't do that. Okay, this was Brazil. Of course, I didn't ask him, what does that mean? I could figure out what it could be, and I hope you too can figure out. So that means every place, there are cultural differences. So think about cultural differences.